Hey everyone, I'm Joe. Today it's time for me to resurrect and change an old series idea that I did several years ago. Then I had a monthly wrap up where I talked about the various films I had seen at the cinema. This new ongoing series will not be cinema based, it will be instead all the media, both television and movies I have seen that is new to me, not necessarily newly created. That is both science fiction and literary based. I mean, this is still our booktube channel after all. Now, June was a good month for watching various programs. I watched 4 things that definitely qualified for this video, and the first of them is actually the one that I have a physical book for, and that is Annihilation. The book was written by Jeff Vandermeer. The series, the movie, is just as strange, bizarre and out there as the book was, but in a slightly different way. Now, the basic premise of the book and also the film is that there is some sort of alien presence or something comes down to Earth. You're never entirely told how it appears, and essentially there's a kind of a area called Area X that is created and starts expanding around a section of American coastline. Now, we can go into this Area X, but people never come out, and we don't know why this is happening, and we don't understand it, because this is a very strange zone. Because when you go in, electrical items barely work as a whole, and it's just bizarre. We don't know what's going on in there because we can't really get reports out properly. We can get fragments of information, but that's about it. Now, that is also the plot of the book and the film. The film differs because obviously this is a cinematic experience and it needs to be more visual. And the other significant change is, in the book, no characters have a name. All characters are referred to by their profession. You have a psychiatrist, you have a biologist, and that is how they are referred to. The biologist, the psychologist. In the film, they have names, because it would be a very strange film if the actors went around saying, "Hello, psychologist, how are you?" It doesn't really work. In the book, of course, it's more internal thoughts. In the film, it can't be. It needs to be audio and visual. So it has to change. The feel of it is still strange and bizarre. I liked it as such. I mean, it's certainly weird, and it was interesting to see what they did with the source material from the book. But that was mainly the appeal of it, was just to see how they adapted it, what the changes were, what they were able to keep, what they wanted to keep. I think if it wasn't for that reason, I would have just found this frankly strange and odd and hard to follow, and I probably wouldn't have classed it very highly. I mean, it's okay, but it's not fantastic. I would recommend it if you've read the book, because it's a curious experience, it really is. The second thing I watched was a film called The Rim of the World. Now, this is actually brand new. It was only released a few months ago. This is a Netflix exclusive as well, and this is one that I really, really enjoyed. Now, the premise of this is fairly simple. There are 4 young teenagers. They do not fit into their social circles or their cliques within their own school systems, and as is often the case in American shows and book series, sometimes they are sent to a very stereotypical sort of summer camp where there are lots of healthy outside exercises and team building, for instance. It really is that stereotypical, but it's done really well, because you think it's going to be a stereotype, and then just as things are about to get started, aliens attack the world, as is often the case. Now, obviously this disrupts their summer camp plans and forces them to essentially run around getting chased by aliens and things flying overhead. They discover that they are entrusted with a significant piece of information which they must get to authorities to save the world. It sounds cliche, certain aspects it almost certainly is, but it's done with such a sense of fun and enjoyment of what they are actually doing that any cliches can be easily dismissed, I thought, because it really is just well made and it was really fun. I mean, it made me smile the whole way through. I like that kind of film where it's just enjoyable and you can tell that the cast, the directors, everybody involved enjoyed themselves immensely whilst filming and the whole way through. And it was just, I can't recommend this enough actually. It really was an impressive film that I didn't really know anything about until I just noticed it and thought, oh, that looked interesting. As that then goes. The next TV series that I watched, and it's the only TV series in June that I watched, is Hilda. This is based on the graphic novel series, which is created by Luke Pearson. He's also responsible for the TV series as well. There are currently 5 graphic novels out as of time of filming this video. There will be a 6th graphic novel out by the end of this year, 2019 at some point. The TV series is 13 episodes long and it is based very directly on the first 4 graphic novels. Now, a 2nd season has been confirmed and they are currently making it. So I'm curious what source material they will use to make it, because they made 13 episodes based on 4 graphic novels. There are only 2 graphic novels out. So a 2nd series will have to be half based on 2 graphic novels and half based on, presumably, the ideas that Luke Pearson might have for future graphic novels. It may be based off entirely new ideas completely though, to make sure that there's no surprises for the graphic novels. It'll be interesting to see. Now, as I said, this is an animated show, obviously because it's a graphic novel, and it is very simply about a young teenage girl called, unsurprisingly, Hilda, the title character. She starts off the show living in this strange little house in the woods with her mum, and there are all sorts of weird and wonderful things in this world with her. There are elves, there are giants, there are trolls, there are witches, there are all sorts of weird magical other types of creature which are really strange and bizarre, and it's just really, really fun and a genuinely nice experience. Now this, I liked it thoroughly because it's optimistic and cheerful in nature. Every moment is just nice. Actually, that's what I couldn't help thinking. I like programs like this. It's rare to find a film or a TV series which is so optimistic and cheerful in nature. They've always normally got a deeper, more realistic theme to them, which works fine obviously, but sometimes it's nice to watch something that is just lighter and just takes you away, which this is really well. You could say this is based and focused on children, which I suppose is accurate in some ways, but it's not just for children. Now, after I watched this series, I did actually recommend this to my sister. I said that her 2 daughters, my 2 nieces, would probably enjoy it, and they really did, especially the younger one. She really enjoyed this series. She loved it actually, and I think she's planning to watch it again, in fact in the next week or 2. So this does work for smaller children, but it does work for adult men as well, at least me anyway, although I'm not entirely normal in most cases. This was just fun, enjoyable, well made, and just optimistic. So if you want something enjoyable, I would really recommend this because it's just so nicely made, it really is. Now the last thing I'm going to talk about is a movie called The Cloverfield Paradox. Now this is the 3rd film in the Cloverfield world. The first film was released over 15 years ago now, which I remember seeing and I actually thought was odd, but I quite enjoyed it. The 2nd film, which is one they released about 4 or 5 years ago now, was one which was based underground in some sort of underground bomb shelter type environment, and it was bizarre and surreal. I have not watched it yet, but I greatly want to. This one is based on a space station, and this deals with, unsurprisingly because it's in the name, paradoxes, because this is one where the Earth is running out of power supplies, like we are now frankly, and on this space station they are experimenting with a new form of completely clean energy generation, and they think they might actually have the solution. However, unsurprisingly, things don't go exactly according to plan, and they sort of make things worse, let's say, before they make it better. If they manage to make it better, of course. And things don't go well for them. There is some pretty unpleasant events that go on for the poor crew. Not all of the crew survive. Obviously that is not a spoiler because it's the type of film it is. Obviously at least one person's going to die. At least one person will survive. This is an obvious fact. Now, it was well filmed, and the ideas and the thoughts on paradoxes and multiverses and other physics ideas I really enjoyed. It's not something you encounter often in movies. You encounter it in books, hard science fiction books in particular, but not movies. And I like it when you see done in this way, especially as this was actually quite clever, I thought. I mean, yes, it uses certain cliche ideas in some way, but it worked really well in this circumstance, as did the other films and series I've talked about in this video. It was just well made, cleverly written, and it dealt with the subject in a way that I really enjoyed and I don't come across often, which frankly is why I probably enjoyed it as much as I did, because I like this sort of subject. This is a sort of subject I've read quite a lot of books about, and I'm very curious to see how different people approach paradoxes and multiverse theory, and this is an interesting take on it. It's familiar in some ways because I have read quite a lot about it, but interesting nonetheless. So, with that said, that is it for this video. Now, I did not mention any directors or any actors' names during this video. In future videos, let me know if you'd like me to mention the actors or the directors or any other significant names in the programs or films that I mention. I did consider mentioning the names, but frankly I don't really think it's that important personally to mention them, because if you want to know who is in the shows in question or the movies, then you can just do a very simple Google search and you'll find out in a matter of seconds. So I personally think for a video like this, knowing an opinion is more important than knowing fact. Fact you can find out through Google. Opinion takes a bit more effort. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I did enjoy making it, and there will be more of them. If you've watched any of these or would like to, then please let me know and we can have a talk about them. All my social media links can be found in the description box below. And with that said, that is it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.